What's up, everybody? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Steve Weinberger and his words on Big Ramy's future and what he should do. So basically, they were all talking. I believe it was like Dennis James, Milos, and Chris Cormier, and they were asking Steve Weinberger. Steve Weinberger, of course, is pretty much everybody should know who Steve Weinberger is. The head judge of the Olympia and pretty much head judge, the best head judge in the world, obviously up there, right under the Manions. Okay, so and usually what we were supposed to go do when we were, this is something I neglected and which was really stupid on my part. When we were competing on the national level, we were supposed to go see Steve Weinberger at his gym, Powerhouse Gym in Syosset, New York. And we were supposed to get go to Steve and say, "Hey, Steve, what should I work on? What should I do?" Just to do like a meet and greet to Steve to know who for him to know who you are, first of all, because at nationals, used to in bodybuilding open, there would be maybe 40, 50 in each class. The first year I did juniors or nationals, there was 50 in my light heavyweight class. That's the year I got like fourth. And the next year I got third. I never met Steve Weinberger. That was a huge mistake. I should have gone to his gym and flew up there. Hey, what do I need to work on? And then so he knows who you are. Because when there's that many people up there, they have like 5 seconds to do the first call outs. If they don't know who you are, you could be, all in all the magazines and on all over the internet, and they don't watch that. You know what I mean? They're not looking at the magazines anymore. He's been there, done that. So that's one thing I neglected to do, and that hurt me during my career big time. So, but everybody should go to Steve Weinberger. And I remember Victor Martinez that year. He had to go get locked up for several months. Steve Weinberger was letting him know, hey, man, yeah, don't do the Olympia this year. Your body hasn't recovered. Give it time. So basically, he was telling, so Dennis James trains Big Ramy, trains him when he comes in town and does his last minute posing and all that. But Chad Nichols does his nutrition and drugs and all that other stuff. Steve Weinberger said Ramy needs to take off, not compete this year at the Olympia. I mean, look at it. He did the Olympia. He did the Arnold. He didn't look much better at the Arnold. Steve Weinberger said he didn't look better at all. Most of us saw, Ramy. He looked a little harder. I thought he did too, but Weinberger was like, no, he didn't look better at all. He might have been a little harder, but he wasn't better. And so he said he needs to take a year off. And by a year off, that means not just his words were by the pool drinking pina coladas or something like that. He needs to be in the gym busting balls, okay? Big Ramy takes a lot of time off. He just had Ramadan, and he's been one to known to take a lot of time off. I think the previous year, the year before that, he took most of the year off and only prepped 3 or 4 months for the Olympia. Of course, he has crazy genetics. But he's not Mr. Olympia anymore. He got knocked to 1 to 5th. Can he come back? I don't believe he can. And Steve was pretty much saying if he can even, get back to that sort of shape, because he's got his back atrophying. His shoulders, his arms have literally deflated half in size. I dealt with that problem with my left arm, and it was due to my herniated disc in my neck. I did some treatments. I started going to chiropractor more, did decompression. It fixed itself. I still have those herniated discs. They're not saying it's herniated disc. We had Dr. Khan on RX Muscle, and we interviewed him about Big Ramy's body. And he said Big Ramy does not have herniated disc in his neck or back. That's what causes, when you have a herniated disc, it's like a jelly donut. And picture the jelly donut smashed, and the jelly comes out and it sits on a nerve. So when it sits on that nerve, it causes a lot of pain, first of all, but it let's say you're doing a bicep curl, whatever nerve it's on compressing, it's not going to let that muscle fire, okay? So you can do whatever. I'm dealing with that right now with my lower back. I've got some bad stenosis there, and then I've got some herniated disc and it's not allowing my inner calves, which used to be massive. My calves are still a good size, but my inner calves, I used to flex them and they would pop out. I can't contract them anymore. Okay. So I'm eventually going to have to figure out. I'm doing some PRP soon. I'm going to get back on some cortisone injections, some facet injections, stuff like that. And eventually I'm probably going to do some, hopefully stem cell. It's very, very expensive, but stem cell out of the country. But that's frustrating because you can't feel it contract. But they said that's not the case for Big Ramy. Okay, obviously his quads, he needs to leave them alone. Stop injecting your quads. Obviously, it's like the pink elephant in the room. Dennis James does train him, so he'll never say Big Ramy injected his quads. We all know in the industry he's injecting his quads. A lot of these guys are injecting their quads. And hey, like Steve Weinberger said, I don't care what you do behind closed doors to make your muscles look better, but if we can tell they're funky looking on stage, we're going to count off. And I believe that's the truth. A lot of these site enhancement oils, and I'm not saying I'm against site enhancement oils. If you can maybe like put a little here, make a little biceps fuller, put a little here, make your quad fuller, I'm all for that, okay? But abusing it to where the muscle looks funky, like a lot of guys up there, you see muscles, you look at an anatomy chart, and a muscle's not supposed to be pointy like this, or a quad sweep's not supposed to be ballooned out, or hamstring's not supposed to, you know what I mean? So anatomy, that's not even possible for these body parts to even look like that. Yet these bodybuilders have these ballooned out quads now, like all of them. Their quad, here's their quad, and then here's their quad sweep, and then it's like another sweep attached. All they're doing is they're putting site enhancement oil into it and ballooning it out. Some guys that I know that are doing it, you can't tell. And there's different type of products out there. There's a really good product that I resell on my website. It's called InstaSize. It's not just oil that sits there like a synthol oil. It's not like that at all. It has other stuff like BCAAs in there and stuff to actually make the muscles grow and stretch that tissue out, and it's safe. I have a few of my clients use it and it works. It works amazing, but you have to know where to place it and all that kind of stuff. I resell it on my website. It's called InstaSize, insta-size.com. That's the official website. And it works. That I approve of that one because it's not just oil filling up the muscle. But that's just a part of top pro bodybuilding, guys. Like everybody wants to ignore it like it's a pink elephant in the room. It's a part of it. And like I said, and Steve said too, whatever you do behind closed doors to make that muscle look the best it can, if it looks right and symmetrical on stage, that's what we are judging, okay? We're not judging if it looks weird a couple weeks before. We're judging what it looks like on stage, okay? So he said Ramy needs to take a year off and just train. Let his body heal. Not take all the toxic hardeners, bodybuilders have to take. Trenbolone, halotestin, all the orals. Let his body just grow, eat, rest, heal itself. It's going to go right back. He's about to start prepping for the Olympia again, which I think is a horrible idea too. He's not getting any younger. He's a year younger than me, I believe. So time is precious right now. But some people might take off. I remember I had to take off a full year to get bigger. And that year was really, really hard. It was harder than dieting because I was eating almost 10 full meals a day. And you don't have like a goal. You're like working towards a goal, but it's just to get bigger. It's not towards, okay, I've got a show in 15 weeks, 14, 13, 12, 11, you don't have that goal in mind. It's just like, I have to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what's really hard. And that's what most clients of mine have a really hard time doing, if they can even do it anymore. Bodybuilding has gone down the work ethic so much. It's really hard to find guys that will, bust their butt. That's why I only take on a select clients. I don't care how bad your genetics are. If you're a hard worker, I will take you on. But so Ramy needs to take off, rest his body, train, let it heal up, and come back the next year and then diet and all that. He doesn't need to diet again, because when you diet and prep, that's so hard on your body. So those are words coming from Steve Weinberger. Let me know what you guys think below in the comments, what Big Ramy needs to do. Make sure you go check out my book, Geared Up. It's all my cycles I ever did over my career, and a couple crazy stories about corruption, drug smuggling, all the crazy stuff we used to do back in the day. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great day.